Hello and welcome back to the channel. Okay, there's not been much news out recent, so let's see what I can cover. But the first bit of news, which has been floating about several YouTube channels, is this. PS5 accused of holding Xbox Series X back. Next gen update is confirmed. Right, yeah, so the whole news around PS5 accused of holding Xbox Series X back, I can sort of see the argument. The thing I'm not understanding though is that I can't find any details on this. Wherever I look, this is I think a link to dealer's channel, but it's in Japanese for some reason. So I cannot seem to find anything relating to who, because it's stated that the Digital Foundry stated this, but I can't find anything relating to this. So that's an interesting topic that I'm trying to sort of get my head around and find out what the source is for it. And no one seems to be linking a source or anything. So, if anyone knows anything more about that, it'd be interesting to look into that further. If anyone can actually find a source to the Digital Foundry saying PS5 is holding that back, the Xbox X, that'd be interesting to read. But until then, I'm taking it all with a pinch of salt that anyone actually come out and said it. So yeah. So that's that. Let's move on to the next bit of news. So the next bit of news is this. Trying to read it's a nightmare with all the adverts now. These adverts are getting out of control, aren't they? I've closed the adverts, said we've closed the ad by Google, but it still takes up half of the page of just blank now. So you might as well just leave the advert in. It's ridiculous. And then you've got an advert at the bottom which you can't close. These just adverts are getting out of hand now. Look, so Sony blames lack of PS5 in stores on component suppliers. So this is interesting news because Bloomberg brought this up a year ago, saying Sony PS5s were going to have a shortage of production, and then a lot of fanboys shut it down, saying no, it's not true, it's not true. And then Sony shut it down and said, yeah, that's not true. We've got loads to produce. But Bloomberg going, no, you've not really got many because of component. And then Sony sort of seemed to, this is right at the launch of the PS5, seemed to shoot them down. 3 months on, Sony admits they did have a shortage, so it was sort of just misleading their gamers, really. I think just to sort of get people to pre-order or to buy the PS5s that are in stock, because yeah, as they've admitted here, since its release, the availability of the PS5 still leaves much to be desired. According to Sony, the main obstacle to increasing PS5 production is a shortage of semiconductors and other components. Yes, this is what Bloomberg said 6 months ago, and you said no, that's not true. Now you're actually it is true. And I actually done a video of this calling out Sony and saying they were making it up. And lots of fanboys going, no, they can't lie, they're not allowed to lie, because apparently that's what people say. That's a thing. They wouldn't do that. It's to do with COVID, or it's to do with scalpers, or it's to do with this, it's to do with that. And I was going, nope. Well, scalpers are a big issue, but it's also to do with them not producing enough consoles. And they wouldn't have it. And they wouldn't have it because Sony also told them that's not the point. That's not the case. And Sony, it turns out, were also misleading once again. And it is because they haven't produced enough consoles. And I wish people would stop quoting this 4.5 million sales, because this is shipped. This is shipped to stores. It's not they've sold 4.5 million. This is how many they've sent to stores. And probably the majority of those have been scalped, so they're probably sitting on shelves. So please, people, stop saying 4.5 million PS5s have sold. It's just not true. So yeah, that's all very interesting, really. I'm not sure how Sony can just keep getting away with misleading gamers like this. But then again, until their fan base actually do something and say something, because my God, whenever Xbox does something wrong, their fan base jumps up and down, and the Xbox fan base, rightly so, also says, hey, that's not right, do something about it. Most recently was the gold thingy going up, the cost of it going up to 120 a year, and Xbox players, as well as Sony fans for whatever reason, jumped on the way, saying it's problems, an issue, complained about it. Within 24 hours, well, actually within 12 hours, Xbox redone the whole thing. They just said, okay, fair enough, blah blah. But Sony fans seriously need to have the bottle, stop shilling, go to Sony and say, look, this is not good enough, that's not good enough. They won't change, and I know you say they're perfect, they're amazing, and they're clearly not. They clearly keep misleading you, clearly keep lying. Stop accepting it and complain. There's not enough being produced, and Bloomberg called this out. Sony shot them down. Turns out Sony was lying. So as of December, well, there's a bit more about it, 7.5 million consoles in stores. So, so that's a bit of news out of the way. Sorry, my controller's broken, so it automatically scrolls. My son broke it, so now it's scrolling over the place now, which is a nightmare. Right, so let's move on to the next bit of news. Okay, for the final bit of news, Xbox Series X outsold the PS5 and the Nintendo Switch in the UK last month. Now, as I've always said, and I'm keeping to it, I don't really care for sales. Sales to me are irrelevant. It should be irrelevant to everyone, really. You shouldn't really care, to be honest. And yes, and to be honest, they don't bring that much money into the companies either. Where they make their money is software sales. However, the only reason I'm really reporting on this is because the interesting thing about, well, not only Xbox Series X outside the PS5, but more to the point, it outside the Switch, which I think is a great landmark there to outsell the Switch, because the Switch right now was flying. It's been leading in sales and been the highest selling console for months now, probably a year, almost since it launched, I believe. So for it to knock off the Switch, I mean, knocking off the PS5 is not a big reach, but the knocking off the Switch is a massive boost, considering where we was last when the Xbox One launched and how people perceived and still continue to run their Xbox. I think that's a massive achievement for it to outsell the Switch. Yeah, and great outsell the PS5 as well. Good. Who cares? Right, but that's it. I think Xbox this generation is making a whole new, playing a whole new ball game basically. And I think it's this year, especially 2021. I think it's going to be an exciting change for the console and its gamers. So I'm really looking forward to the rest of this year and the years beyond. Especially if you watched my games that are coming out, there's a load of good, great games. Many of them for third party, but there's still some excellent titles coming out this year for the Xbox Series X. And there's still loads of news to announce, like apparently a new studio and another big, massive third party AAA game that they've helped publish, which is still secret. So still some interesting things to come. Hopefully they'll do a Gamescom or an E3 this year, where we'll learn more. So I'm afraid that's it for this episode. As I said, there's not been much news, and I've been so busy lately with work and other bits, so I've not been able to get on. Plus the family, plus there's so much going on at the moment for me and my wife. But I'll try to keep the dates, the stuff coming out, the videos coming, and please thank you all for watching. Please sub, please share, because it only helps to support my channel and make me feel like I'm doing something that's worthwhile. And yes, and I'm going to leave that there. So thank you all for watching, and goodbye for now.